Every time you turn on the news, you hear the same words. Border crisis, record crossings, system overwhelmed. The headlines feel urgent, dramatic, almost apocalyptic. But here's the real question no one is calmly answering. Is America actually at a breaking point? Or is immigration being used as a political weapon in 2026? Tonight, we're slowing this down. No shouting. No party slogans. Just facts, context, and reality. The southern border has seen historic levels of migrant encounters over the past few years. Processing centers are crowded. Immigration courts are backed up for years. Border states say they're under pressure. But what does that actually mean? When you hear millions of encounters, that does not mean millions of people permanently entered the United States. An encounter simply means border agents stopped, detained, or processed someone. Some are deported immediately. Some are removed later. Some apply for asylum and wait for court hearings. Some are released with legal monitoring. Yes, the system is stressed. But stress does not automatically mean collapsed. America's immigration system was built decades ago, and today's migration patterns look very different from the past. Why are people coming? People don't usually risk crossing deserts, rivers, or cartel-controlled routes unless something is very wrong at home. Many migrants are coming from countries facing economic collapse, gang violence, political instability, corruption, natural disasters, food insecurity. For many, migration isn't a casual choice. It's survival. And that tension is exactly where America is divided. The Republican position. Republican leaders focus heavily on border enforcement. Their main argument is simple. Secure the border first. Their concerns include drug trafficking, especially fentanyl, human smuggling networks, national security vulnerabilities, financial strain on local communities, overcrowded shelters and schools. They argue that without strong enforcement, any reform becomes meaningless. Their proposed solutions often include expanding the border wall, tightening asylum standards, increasing deportations, deploying more National Guard personnel, expanding Border Patrol funding. Their belief is that deterrence reduces illegal crossings, and without deterrence, the system cannot function. The Democratic position. Democratic leaders argue something different. They say the immigration system itself is outdated and dysfunctional. Their main points include legal immigration takes far too long. Immigration courts are severely understaffed. Work visa caps don't match labor demand. Millions already live in the U.S. without documentation. Their solutions often include pathways to citizenship for long-term undocumented residents, faster asylum processing, expanding legal work visas, investing in modern border surveillance technology, addressing root causes in migrants' home countries. They argue immigrants strengthen the economy, pay taxes, and contribute to growth. But even within their party, there is disagreement about how far reform should go. Businesses often rely heavily on immigrant labor. Some economists argue immigrants fill labor shortages, especially in jobs that struggle to attract domestic workers. Others argue that in certain regions, low-skilled American workers may experience wage pressure. Short-term impacts can feel different from long-term economic outcomes. And that nuance rarely makes headlines. Crime and security. Crime is one of the most emotional parts of this debate. Research generally shows that immigrants, overall, are not more likely to commit crimes than native-born citizens. However, drug trafficking networks at the border are real. Cartel activity is real. The fentanyl crisis is real. When families lose loved ones to overdoses, border security stops being abstract policy. It becomes deeply personal. And when issues become personal, they become political. Election politics. Let's be honest. Immigration is also an election strategy. For Republicans, secure the border. For Democrats, fix the broken system. In election years, compromise becomes rare because no party wants to appear weak. Sometimes gridlock is not about policy disagreement. It's about political advantage. Fear mobilizes voters. So does hope. And immigration debates often mix both. Legal immigration, the overlooked issue. One of the least discussed. Asylum cases can drag on for 5 years or more. When legal pathways are slow and complicated, irregular crossings often increase. Many experts argue real reform must modernize the legal system, not just strengthen enforcement. Technology exists to process applications faster. Funding could expand immigration courts. Policy updates could align labor demand with visa supply. But reform requires bipartisan cooperation, which has been rare. Is America breaking? So let's answer the big question. Is America at a breaking point? No. But the system is strained. The politics are divided. And public trust is fragile. America still has the world's largest economy, strong institutions, significant resources, a long history of absorbing immigrants. The real crisis may not be at the border. It may be in Washington, where agreement is difficult and polarization is high. What real reform could look like? Most policy experts agree that extreme solutions are unlikely to succeed. Mass deportations, logistically complex and economically disruptive. Open borders, politically and practically unrealistic. A balanced approach might include smart border surveillance technology, faster asylum decisions, expanded legal work visas, clear and consistent enforcement policies, investment in immigration courts, cooperation with neighboring countries, balance, not slogans, structure, not chaos, reform, not rhetoric. Closing. Immigration is not just about a wall. It's about jobs, security, human dignity, national identity, economic growth, community stability. The question is not whether immigration will continue. It will. The real question is, will America manage it wisely or argue about it endlessly? That decision will not be made at the border. It will be made by voters. If you appreciate balanced discussion, not political shouting, consider subscribing. Now I want to hear from you. Should enforcement come first or full reform first? Let's talk in the comments, respectfully.